Hi, this is Lawrence Frontera. Today I want to discuss with skateboarding the impact boards by Dwindle Distribution. Now, many of you may not know what Dwindle Distribution actually puts out there, but they put out Enjoy, Almost, Blind, Mind Trip skateboards, which is formerly Madness, and Dark Star. And all lines across the board have impact boards. And what the impact board is an actual carbon fiber sheet that's actually put through the top of the board for the impact lights to help prevent breakage. Now, let me say this: for a while there, I was snapping boards like crazy. I had a couple primitives I snapped within 2 weeks. I had some shop boards, which I snapped sometimes skating second session. I had a couple Santa Cruzes. I did crack a Santa Cruz. I did not break the other one, but those are also kind of heavy. But also, if you look at my board, at my wall, I have 4 boards up there. The last 4 here are all impact boards. 0 used to be made by Dwindle, no longer on there. These are all impact light boards. So, one of my biggest issues for me is snapping boards doing lip slides. And I finally actually broke one. The actual impact, doing a 360 kickflip because I landed in the middle. But I actually have a good example here because I recently purchased, because I needed to on the spot, get a board. So I bought a thank you board, which I believe is Schmidt Sticks wood, which is all fine and dandy, but I bought this on the 14th. Today is the 2nd of September. And I cracked it doing a lip slide again, which I had not broken one of the impact boards doing lip slides. If you look here, you can see where the crack is. It's not that easy on the video, but let's just say if I try another lip slide, it's going to snap, whether I land it or not. And due to that, when you're coming down and you're pushing on either side, you're going to have an issue here, especially when you have weight. And I weigh about 200 pounds, and I'm pretty short, so it's all compacted. That was my biggest issue. Snapping them doing lip slides, snapping them doing like fakey disasters on mini halves when they just snap. So, after I snapped this impact board, I actually ripped off the grip tape so I could actually see how it looks. And what you have here, and you can see it hanging off, is your actual carbon fiber insert. Now, as you can see, this didn't crack. It's still there. It keeps its sturdiness. So what the impact actually does is when it is together, all right, and I can show you here really quick that it's not just laid on and glued. It's actually cut inside of it and then glued onto it. So, when you're running these boards and you're skating them, they're meant to keep your pop and keep the board from breaking. So when you're doing lip slides and you're coming down this way, this is going to keep that top layer from breaking. Also with the tail, it's going to keep the tail up and keep it from breaking down and make it harder for it to break. Now, the reason why I broke this was I landed towards the middle and it just snapped inward. So you can actually see that it's not going to have a lot of extra support going down the middle. So if you land boards in the middle, there's a good chance you're going to break them that much easier. But I don't think that's how many people break their boards. I think it's more on lip slides, disasters, or your tails snapping off. Now when you look at it, this is up onto the tail here. It's actually going to support it. So when your tail starts to sag down, this is glued on so tightly that it helps prevent from the tail just snapping down. The same as when it does when you're running lip slides and you're bowing down. The other thing is that they also use a different epoxy type glue, which makes the board even stiffer and hold together better. And I can say this, as I was breaking boards like crazy. I mean, when you're breaking a board every 2 weeks, understand this. I'm a 43-year-old adult, so this was back in my early 40s, 41, 40, 40, 41, I'm not skating every day. I'm going to the skate park 2-3 times a week. And I was breaking boards. It's getting pretty expensive. You have to watch what you're doing and watch what you're buying. Someone had told me to buy one. Actually, the manager said, "Hey, why don't you do that? Why don't you buy this impact board that's guaranteed for 45 days?" I bought it. First one lasted me about 5 or 6 months. Any of these boards I can skate right now. The only reason why I switched boards was just because I was ready for a new board. Each of those boards lasted me at least 5 months. Now, this one here, I did break within 2 months. But again, that was a fluke. I normally don't even do flip tricks that often, and we were doing 360 kick flips. And I landed in the middle, and the thing just snapped. Front foot went right through. But it's the only one that I've snapped. So, put on the spot, I didn't have a board. I bought this Thank You Company board, and within 3 weeks, I already broke it. I do have a bunch of primitive boards coming because right now they're running a mystery board sale. You tell them what size you ride, and for $20 they'll send it out. So I bought a bunch of them, and I'll see how they work. From what I understand, they're also Schmidt 6 wood. Kind of worries me because the other primitives, as much as I liked them and I liked their pop and everything, they didn't last. At least not for me. And I guess I come down pretty hard. That's what I'm told. But I never had an issue before. And these impact boards really made a huge difference. They didn't lose any pop. They're not more expensive, unlike the Powell flight decks, which I'm not a big fan of, even though they're lighter. I don't like the way their concave is. But if I can start getting, if I get these primitive boards, and I have a bunch of them coming because they're so cheap, if I snap through those pretty quickly, I'll go right back to riding the impact boards. If I can't, can you get the impact boards, because Dwindle was sold, hopefully they don't change anything, I might have to look at a flight deck or the new Santa Cruz boards, which also use a carbon fiber top layer from what I understand. But to get back to the impact boards, the thing that I love about Dwindle boards is they're single press boards, which what many of you may not realize, a lot of these boards are pressed 5 at a time. And that's why they're not always the same. So the bottom and the top are going to be different. The concave is going to be different. The kick to the nose and the tail are going to be different. Because you're pressing 5 at a time, that it's going to be that those middle ones are actually going to be a little bit flatter than the top two. And this is actually well known. It's something that guys like Day One used to actually go through and pick the middle one because he liked flatter boards. So when Dwindle did theirs, they went to single deck presses, which means each deck is pressed by itself. So this board, which was a blind board, it is going to be the exact same if I bought another one. There's no difference. Each one is singularly pressed, so you never have to worry about having different kick. And right on it, it tells you what it is. All right, it tells you the width of it. If it's this one is steep kick and full concave, you can get mellow kick or low kick, mellow concave. They have a bunch of different ones, and it doesn't matter if it's an impact board or just a Dwindle board. It's actually pressed right into the wood. So anyway, that's a little about the impact boards. I would suggest riding them. Like I said, I was on the spot. They didn't have any impact boards, so that's why I went with this. I'm taking a gamble with these primitives right now because they're so cheap, and it is a real company. I'm not buying blank boards. I've gone through that, and they don't work for me, and I really don't want to throw my money away. But I'm trying it with these primitives again because I really like the way they skated, even though they didn't last that long. Maybe that's just me because obviously these guys are riding them. if it's coming out of the Schmidt 6 warehouse, there's a lot of manufacturers that are using that, and they're pushing out boards. And if I'm the only one breaking them, then so be it. I get it, and that's the reason why boards like this and the Flight Powell deck are out there for people that may be just a little bit rough around their boards and they're snapping through them. So anyway, if you're wondering, try it out. They're not more expensive than a regular 7-ply deck. I have no complaints with it, even though I finally broke one after almost 2.5 years of skating 5 of them. One finally broke on me, but with it breaking, I was able to actually tear it down and see how it actually is. And the fact that this carbon fiber insert, I think, will do wonders if you break boards like crazy, doing lip slides, or you snap your tail off doing tricks. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do, give me a thumbs up, follow me, and I'm hoping to get some more videos out. I know it's been a little while, but life just sometimes gets in the way. So take care.